high resolution if you have the right setup, and this is more than enough to be the right setup. I just want to get like a comparison now between the best that the consoles have to offer, because I've been somewhat of a console gamer for the past couple of years. You see me play 2K all the time, you see me play Need for Speed all the time, things like that. I'm just trying to figure out how big is the difference between those games on, say, a 4K TV versus the 8K stuff that this is seconds. So that's literally twice as fast from 60 to 130. And so there you absolutely can feel the difference. And it's not even like you're out here on the streets doing 60 to 130 all the time, but when you're on the highway, the difference in like that torque that you can feel and quickly do things that you couldn't feel in previous Model S's is actually very surprising. Like basically it's one thing to see the numbers, like you watch the videos on YouTube, you see the numbers on the speedometer going up in the ludicrous mode, and this is when you might start to get into third-party widgets. So Apple makes some pretty sweet widgets, sure, but now that iOS 14 is out, developers are now starting to get into making their own best dedicated widgets, the most beautiful, the most functional, the most awesome glanceable information they possibly can in a widget. And so there's a lot of good ones here. I'm going to share some of my favorites. So there's this one called Time Page that just makes a straight up better looking, more minimal widget than Apple's weather widget. It's not a weather app. It's actually for something totally different. The case. So let's just get the jokes out of the way right off the top, shall we? It looks like a purse that doesn't really hold much, and it looks like a bra. Like, no way around it. But for real, this is a super strange case to me. So they call it the smart case. It comes with the headphones. And the headphones literally just slot in here and close with a magnet. And my very first impression is there is no redeeming quality. And there is potential for a whole world of new MagSafe accessories that slap onto the back of the phone with magnets, right? Now, I don't know about you, but my first question when I saw this was, okay, that is going to depend entirely on how strong these magnets actually are. So now that we have it, how strong are they and what do they like to use? Well, what better way to visualize what's happening here than some good old-fashioned magnet paper? So this is what happens when you put magnet paper up to an... It has an ultra-wide with a bit of distortion near the edges, but it's actually meaningfully wider than the primary camera, so it's really fun to shoot with, even though the automatic macro mode from it looks like trash, and you should just turn it off anytime it turns your pictures from this to this, pro tip. And then it has a medium-range 3x telephoto camera that kicks in smoothly and matches the colors and exposure from the main camera really well. And so the one new thing in hardware this year is they've gone from a 10-megapixel 10x camera. No, not really. Is this a nice quality of life touch that a lot of people will think is really cool and really like? Yeah, I think that's true. Is this feature technically invented by LG 7 years ago with the top screen on the LG V10? Yes, absolutely. Alright, if you watch enough iPhone presentations, then you know that the Pro iPhone really is and has been. So like handheld in low light, that'll be better. Night mode will be better. Autofocus on fast-moving subjects, super high dynamic range shots like shooting straight into the sun thanks to Smart HDR3, stuff like that. Other than that, it still looks like iPhone photos, which is to say some of the absolute best and most consistent crisp photos on any smartphone, so that's not a letdown. But iPhone video, though, firmly in a league of its own. It firmly, like every time, cooling and better battery. The number that they quoted on stage was 39 hours of video playback, which, whatever, dumb stat, video playback is kind of ridiculous, but okay, we'll take that. And I also looked up the iPhone 16 Pro Max's video playback, and that was also a great battery life phone. That one quoted 33 hours. So maybe up to like 10% battery life on this phone, which is sick. And then there's the cameras that I mentioned. They always go hard with Pro phones and cameras. Either way, the new colors are black, white, and this new blue, which is really subtle, and then natural, which I guess it kind of embraces the raw titanium feel. Reminds me of Starlight, if you're curious, kind of like this warm tone. Weirdly, I think I like it the most. But also something else Apple said on stage, and this was pretty quick, so you might not have even picked it up, but they did mention that they have redesigned a bit of the interior of the chassis to make the back glass more replaceable. So it's a more repairable iPhone design. super white color scheme with blue accents, and you'll notice that theme sticks through literally everything here. So as I struggle my way through the unboxing and get to the controller, the first impression of it is also really nice. I am a big fan of this controller. Now the PS4 controller to me was fine, but I actually like the Xbox Elite controller more because it's a little bigger in my hands, it fits well, it just feels higher quality. So I was hoping actually for a bigger, more solid PS5 controller, and that's exactly.
Like most people, I think it's like pretty cool. Like most people never see like the inside of the car.
Yeah, there's a million things you never see driving the car every day. Sure.
This is like, sorry guys, sorry to interrupt. That's all right, man. Make me look. If you don't mind being on like you know the internet and stuff, is that cool? All right,
YouTube's cool.
I actually don't interrupt your work, but you know, it's like you see like how like there's like a lot of tricky pieces, and like if for a person like this is like doable.
Adorbs, totally adorbs.
Okay, our last one was Mac Surgeon.
All right, Mac Surgeon. What do you want? Body parts? And here we go. Mr. Thomas Jones, a 65-year-old man with a history of heart problems, came in with problems of lower back pain. You thought he felt a pulsating mass in the abdomen. You were ordered x-rays of the abdomen. They showed nothing. I think we got to order an ultrasonic.
Learning as we go. Okay.
Please insert the disc others. This was how we rolled, man.
Oh my goodness.
It was not the good old.
Time. I think sometimes people think I spend a lot of time on Twitter.
Sure.
I don't know why they would think that. That's crazy. But actually, it's like that's like almost nothing. Most of my time is spent, or at least in the last several months, especially going around the factory, and then working on, say, the paint shop, the body shop where we weld up the body, the final assembly where we put all the parts together.
That I didn't get to keep that footage because it's on camera literally as I'm peeling it, the screen goes black. Yeah, that was clearly not just a regular screen protector. So I emailed Samsung. They seemed totally understanding of it, which is interesting, but then they replaced the phone. So this is my replacement Galaxy Fold that I'm definitely not trying to peel the screen protector off of. So I've set the new phone up, it's all good, been using it since. But then sure enough, yesterday I see a tweet from Dieter from The Verge, option, of course, going with solar panels and batteries, a lot of different possible setups. So my setup with the solar tiles, all of the materials, all of the labor, installation, everything, and the 3 batteries, everything together was $120,948.04. But also, as you can see, there's a federal tax credit down here of nearly $30,000, bringing the total cost to me down to right around $93,000. So rainbows a bit and you can really see it. So that definitely takes away from the wraparound display illusion. And there's also a fair bit of yellowing at the very edges that you can sometimes notice if you're looking for it. The camera doesn't pick it up as well as your eyes. And also this sucker wobbles like crazy on a desk, but that's, I guess, unavoidable. There's no other place for it to lie flat. The camera bump is literally just a stripe down the middle. Overall though, I gotta say, I'm very impressed by this functional prototype. A lot of the that everybody's talking about, it's expensive. It's $3,500. So is that pricey? Yeah, that's very expensive. But this is the thing that is always weird with Apple products. Like there is no direct comp. Like you always say it's expensive, but like compared to what? And they did this with the Pro Display XDR. They've done this with even AirPods Max a little bit. But like there are several things that this headset does. The first iPhone. So here's a fun fact. There's an article from The Guardian that shows that apparently 6 out of 10 Americans knew that an iPhone was coming before it was officially unveiled. So this was an incredibly hyped thing, but it came out, and when it finally did, it was immediately pretty recognizable. You've got this 2-tone design, metal up top, plastic at the bottom for all the antenna pass through, a very recessed headphone jack that actually prevented lots of non-Apple headphones from working with it, and this thing here work with a picture of you. It doesn't work when you're looking away. It doesn't work when your eyes are closed. It just basically waits until it sees what it saw during that setup process, and then it's good to go. So no, your girl can't unlock your phone while you're asleep with your eyes closed, for those of you who are wondering that. I do have some further thoughts on this Face ID versus Touch ID though, so stay tuned for that in an upcoming video. And I do want to see if I can fool it with identical twins maybe, just out of curiosity. Anyway, with the new notch, you also get a new front-facing camera, Second thing is just the vast distance between me and the front of the windshield, and then I just straight up can't see the front of the car. I can't see the nose, no matter how high I look. That's just different, very different. Something I'm gonna have to get used to. Okay, love that the button blinkers are actually physical buttons, and now we're on a bit of a crazier road, so we can, holy, come on. That's, if you're cool with the notch interrupting part of the app you're in. If you're not into it, you never have to turn that on, so that's clean. And Oxygen OS just as a whole is fast and smooth as it is. It also has a pretty good amount of extra features while still staying pretty close to stock Android. There's still the super fast facial recognition. There's the gaming mode that doesn't let notifications interrupt your gameplay. There's an ambient display mode that's new that works when you raise your phone up, but it's not always on, so I actually don't even really bother using it. Basically, it's not lacking features, but you can the Samsung phone, you sign into your Google account, you sign into your Samsung account. You can do this on the front screen or on the inside screen, but like I said in the first impressions video, that keyboard is kind of small, so I prefer the bigger screen. And then by the end of it, eventually, you end up in the Galaxy Fold with this smart, stock, black butterfly wallpaper with the pitch black pixels around the edges and the middle. That is the unboxing experience. Now about that case it came with. So any case around. So drag it forward, backward, anywhere you want in X, Y, and Z space, and then let go and it just stays absolutely locked. And then you can look at either bottom corner to resize to make it bigger or smaller. And then finally there's a little X at the bottom. You select that, that closes it. So that is the basics of Vision OS and just using an app. Now, this entire time, by default, and almost any time they can, pass-through is on, which means you have the headset on, but you can... What do we got? This, not a whole lot of English on this box, but this is the Pocket Sonar. Let's check this out. Okay. Okay, so this is the part that goes into the back of the Game Boy, and this is probably use the sonar to catch fish. Do I have any way to demo this right now? Is there a way to catch fish? I'm almost scared to ask.